Is that the? I love it. Welcome to Nateland podcast. We're excited to be here. Big shout out today to Helix Sleep. Take their 2-minute sleep quiz and they'll match you to a mattress that will give you the best sleep of your life. Find your perfect mattress at helixsleep.com/Nate. Welcome to the show, everybody. We've had a big fun weekend. A lot of traveling. Went to Dollywood. I loved it. It was an amazing trip, and we're going to keep it. We got more this weekend. If you want to come out to the show, you can go to natebargatze.com. One night only tour. We have 2 weeks left. This is it. You can see this. If you want to see this. If you want to watch 4 men bomb, we're the show for you. So we are excited to be here. Also, we have the Tonight Show. This is all the guys that filmed this stuff. They filmed the Tonight Show. They got some little Tonight Show. We all got Tonight Show credit. Now we're all Tonight Show people. Thanks for watching that. Thanks for all the nice comments. The people loved it. It's the first stand-up back since COVID.
It's awesome.
Pretty fun.
Yeah. That's neat.
We're the start of the new era, stand-up comedy, after the pandemic. All right, we're going to get started as usual with some comments from you guys, as we always love reading all this stuff. Stephen Edging, right?
I think so.
Nate, you may get me arrested for a LWD, listening while driving. Twice now, listening to you, Buttercup, and Aaron while driving. I have laughed so hard I couldn't see to drive. I guess I am the idiot for listening while driving. Buttercup's a good one.
It is a good one.
That's another good name.
That's a great name.
I'm wondering how long before I'm no longer amused by these. And I don't see any signs of slowing down.
It's going to be tough, man. They're all pretty good and fun. So I enjoy them. Lane Saunders, a show where a group of men discuss childhood topics. The last 3 shows have been magic, animals, and pirates. Can't wait for the next show when Nate, Aaron, and Banana Bread discuss imaginary friends. Well, all right. You might be in luck because we might be doing that. Chris Minute, the animals episode literally had me crying and unable to breathe from laughing so hard. I thought Nate, Aaron, and Beauregard,
Beauregard, maybe?
Beauregard can do no wrong with these shows. And then came the Pirates show. Even Michael Jordan missed some free throws. Keep him up the mostly hilarious work. The Pirates episode, that's Nick's fault.
Yeah.
If
I'll
you notice,
accept. Yeah, I will walk off the plank for that one. You know,
I mean, we've been on a great roll, and then Nick, we had to put Nick in. His agent forced us to have him.
In fairness, he didn't. The Beauregard is that's a tough name for you.
Beauregard, it is a hard one.
Yeah.
That's Brian's middle name. Mike Bohm. I have always just listened to the podcast, but this week I decided to watch with the video on YouTube. If you haven't done that, I would highly recommend it. The Beverly Bootstrap Bates jokes are way more hilarious when you see his reaction. Don't know how he sits there and takes it from everybody, but I'm glad he does. Love you guys in the podcast. You produce something funny and positive when most of the stuff you get on TV or online these days is negative garbage. And that's why we're here.
Yeah.
Not changing any minds. Mind your own business. Do whatever you want.
No negative garbage. The rest of the episode's like, all right, now let's be negative.
Well, it's negative to each other. But we keep it in this world of negative. I'm sure I've yelled about something else, but we're negative to just each other. Ian Renfrew. Love the podcast. Love your stand-up. Laughter is extremely important right now. Saw you last winter in Rockford, Illinois. My face and stomach hurt from laughing so much. Pretty sure bed rest opened for you. He wasn't funny then either. Oh, pretty sure bed rest opened for you. He wasn't funny then either.
Wow.
Whoa.
That was a tough one.
Hurt people.
Pretty sure bed rest. That one almost that when they slip them in, and I don't even realize that's what they're doing. I thought that was the sentence. Like he was saying he was bed rest or something.
He didn't capitalize bed rest.
Yeah.
So that's
all. I didn't mind. I like sneaking it in. When you have to go back and go, oh, he's calling Brian bed rest.
that last line was uncalled for.
He wasn't funny then either. Yeah, Brian was funny.
Rockford, Illinois, one of the most dangerous cities in America.
Oh, yeah?
One of the worst cities in the country, yeah.
It sounds so nice.
Statistically.
Like Rockford.
It does.
It sounds like
it does.
Oh, like a magical place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when we went after his town, he goes after bed rest, we go after you. You don't take down one of our own. Ross Montgomery. Excited to see this lineup at the Texas show. I'm going to learn the Morse code for hello, folks, to flash my headlights. I hope Baden Kandunk wears his shirt at the shows.
Oh, badunkadonk.
Badonkagunk.
Ah.
I've never seen that word spelled out.
Yeah. Honky tonk, badonkadonk.
Badonkagunk. Badonkagunk.
Is that what they call you?
Huh?
They call
Badonkagunk.
him Badunkadunk?
Yeah, that's what they call him.
I don't
Yeah,
think
can
they're
you believe
talking
that?
about me.
Now they're talking about Aaron.
You
Can you
got,
believe
you
that
got
they call
junk
him
in the
that?
trunk?
Yeah, he does. They call him Badonkagunk. Everybody calls
You
him
didn't know
that.
they called Aaron that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, dude. Everybody does that.
It's going to be a long weekend. Every
Yeah.
time he gets out of his bunk, I'm going to be like, well, there it is. The Badunkadunk.
Badonkagunk. 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 Donk.
Good song.
Nick, how did you not realize that all he's been called is names that are B's?
Yeah.
And you think for some reason this guy switched it to Aaron.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it just gets out of control. Some of these like names, he's got more nicknames than anybody in the world. They're like,
I know that's the whole point of the
Sleepyhead.
show, but for some reason you thought this one was talking about Aaron. You thought this guy changed it up. Did you?
but Dunkadunk, I'm like, well, now if he's got the junk in the trunk, I'm going to be noticing that on the bus.
All right, I'm not sure Nick really knows what's going on right now. Nick's got Badonkagunk. You ever seen Nick?
There
Nick's
you
got
go.
one of the best booties in stand-up comedy. I've always said that.
Did you think Aaron had some junk in the trunk, so that's why they were talking about him?
Well, I don't know. That was the name. That was the name I saw in the comment. And I'm like,
Yeah.
maybe they know something I don't know. I haven't, noticed
Yeah.
that.
But the theme of always using B nicknames and being ridiculous, you thought that this one changed up just because we're
Maybe
like,
they gave that to him. They're like,
because of the junk he has in that trunk.
that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
Okay. Brian Lee, I enjoyed Nickland this week. This episode would have only been 45 minutes if not for him. Keep up the good work, y'all. Way to go, Nick. It's gonna be the Nickland podcast.
I don't know if you're suggesting Nick was talking too much or we
No,
weren't
I
clear
think
enough.
he's saying he liked Nick,
Oh.
which I like Nick.
I think he's saying he carried the episode.
Yeah, like Nick was everything.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Nick did great. He did great. Nick will be off the show next week, and Brian Lee is blocked. Russell D. Williford, Nick's joy is contagious. I love how mirthful he is. What is that? even
Mirthful
mean?
is a great word. I don't
Is
know what
it?
it means.
But it's a good thing to be.
It sounds like a nice,
It's like
you want to be
joyous.
mirthful.
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
a combination of mouthwash and, like
Badunkadonk.
Mirth. You get a mirth for a mouthwash. Constantly chuckling and laughing. Y'all are supposed to be comics. Maybe you could take a page from the book of Nick's awesome personality. Nick does have good personality.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though.
What?
I have multiple accounts that I write some of these,
Yeah.
as
he
as
comes
Russell
in,
B. Welford.
What does that have to do with being a comic, though? Being mirthful.
Yeah.
Because he's got a good laugh. Nick's a good laugher.
Mhm.
People are good laughers. Audience members are good laughers. Some are not good laughers.
Well, that's a good audience member then. That's not a good comic.
Well, but some comics are really good at being. They're a personality.
Yeah.
Nick's a good personality. Like some comics have great personalities. Some are not. I don't think I'm the most personality. That's why I've never been a good host of a show. Because I would never be like, "What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show." Like I'm not a good. If you're gonna tune into ABC Wet and Wild, and I'm like, "What's up, everybody? Got a great show. People are sliding and stuff." Everybody like, "This guy hates his job," and I don't. But that's what I do. So I stick what I do in my lane.
Were you
Nick,
ever like that at all when you were hosting
No.
shows? Would you?
I was never a good host.
Yeah.
I would always just go the route of I would have comics tell me they liked me hosting because I would do my act. I was never a big where's this guy from? Asking the crowd where they're from and stuff. But I would get them in the rhythm of listening to jokes, which I like to follow. I'd rather follow that than follow a guy being like, "Where are we at? Where is this? What are you doing? What kind of hat is that?" Like just that's just a different kind of show mentality that audience is in.
Because it either goes unbelievable, like some people, or like just great at it, or you can get into just a train wreck moment where you start talking to people. So like, what is it like being a dentist? Huh? You got it?
Yeah,
Dentist?
they're in a whole big thing.
And then like nothing.
They all want to be talked to. The crowd wants
Yeah.
to be talked to. The crowd's like, "This guy's so much fun. He's just yelling at us."
Uh-huh.
And then you go up and do your act, and then everybody's like, "Well, where's the guy that was funner? The guy that made fun of us?
The guy that talked with us.
The guy
not
that
at
talked with us?" Yeah. I'm an act guy. I present my act that I created, and then that's what it is.
But a lot of comics are introverts.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's
Comics are not that. a lot of people say we're not. If you meet us, we're not what you think
Yeah.
when you meet us. We're not this like, yeah, this super fun guy, and I think we can make a lot of jokes, and we can be funny in situations when we hang out. But yeah, we're not super fun. I mean,
The
it's
tour
but
bus,
that's it, but it's
the tour bus has been pretty fun. You know,
well, it's we just rail on each other. It's
Yeah.
kind of this,
Yeah.
how we're making fun of each other.
yeah.
It's essentially that's what comics do. We tend to just go hard and make fun of each other. That's what the Comedy Cellar was. Like when people talk about the Comedy Cellar, that back table, it was that. It's everybody just trashing each other
Yeah.
and making fun of each other, and that's what's funny to us. So it's like very mean, and that's what it is, and that's and that's what you like, and that's how comics can be, and we can be too mean. So when we hang out with regular people, if we have to tone it back. I can't just walk into your house and start trashing your house because you're gonna think it's rude. So then we end up just not talking because I don't want to cross the line. I mean, times comics make jokes and we have to go like, "Hey, man, this is like a regular person. Like you can't do it." Like I don't know if I've talked about this, but I always heard Patrice O'Neal, one of the greatest comics. He's passed away. He's one of the best ever. But he was on The Office, the first few seasons of The Office, and then he was off The Office. And whether this is true or not, it makes sense. But I always heard that Patrice was a comic, and Patrice would really break people down. And he would do that to the actors on The Office. And they would have to tell him, like, you got to calm down, dude. These are not comedians. They don't take it like a comedian does. Like, you can't offend me. I'm never going to be, if a comic is good, I truly believe this, they can't be offended. They should never be offended. It doesn't matter. They can get mad. You can get mad about stuff, but I'm never going to be offended and be like, you can't say that about me. Like, I don't, it doesn't really matter. And so Patrice would do that. And then they would be like, yeah, man, you can't, these are regular people that are actors. Like they're like sensitive. You can't just be like, what's this loser here?
Now in my head, I'm trying to think like what actor on The Office. Like
I think
like,
all of them.
man.
Yeah.
I think
it was like
every
Steve
one of them.
Carell that was like, get him out.
I don't think
Like,
anybody I don't know what happened. I don't think anybody probably specifically got him out, but I just, you could probably tell if he's the only one doing that in a group of 50 people, then naturally the showrunner is going to be able to feel the vibe to be like, yeah, we just can't have this dude here anymore.
Didn't you tell me that supposedly Craig Robinson's the one that said, "Hey, man, you got to chill a little
Supposedly that's what I heard. Like he's like would tell him like you got to calm down, dude. These are not comics. Like Craig Robinson could handle it. He's a comic.
Yeah.
And not saying that these people are bad because they can't handle it. It's just comics can be ruthless, dude.
what if he's like wasn't attacking the cast, but it was like the crew, like the guy holding the microphone?
See, I think the crew would be able to handle it.
and he's just
Yeah.
like, you gotta hold it like that, and the guy's gotta hold it, and it's like,
I mean, the crew could handle it. They're a bunch of union guys. I mean,
Yeah.
the union
Blue
guys,
collar
yeah,
guy,
blue
yeah.
collar. Like they're all about that.
yeah.
I think it's the actors, and rightfully so. I agree with that. Like you have to know when to tone it down. I mean, my stint in Hollywood is like you could tell that. Yeah, you can't just be saying crazy stuff. You can't have full on real conversations. Comics are very open. We'll talk about anything. You can tell me anything, and I'm not going to care. I want you to be interesting. I would rather you. When we talked about conspiracy theory, if someone's like, I don't believe in space, I would love to talk to that guy.
Yeah,
That's way more interesting to me than someone that's going to tell me, I don't know, something that's like factual. To be like, we need to worry about
yeah.
climate change, and then goes through this whole climate change where you're like, I'm not saying that we don't, but I'd rather talk to the guy that just doesn't believe in outer space. Like that guy. And that's what everybody should do. That's how everybody should live. But all right. Anyway, Nick's off the show. Emily Zell, when Bradley was talking about how the skull and crossbones was so scary, all I could think about was he looks worried. For real. Love your shows. I'm a college student at Mizzou. Ugh. And when people see me walking around campus on Wednesday, I'm usually laughing out loud because of Nateland. Mizzou Vandy postponed. Right?
It's a big win for us.
Big win for us. we were gonna be playing you, Emily, this week, and we postponed because we don't have enough players. It's a mess.
They're coming off a
COVID's-
big win though, right?
Yeah, they beat LSU.
I was
No,
like,
not
Vandy?
Vandy,
No.
This is our big win.
Yeah, this was our big win. Is we don't have to play. We don't have to dress up.
Postponed.
Aaron showed
Mizzou
me-
had a huge win.
Aaron showed me footage of him playing football, so
Yeah.
maybe he can. Like, what if
His
he was to be
badonka
thrown
gonk-
in?
His badonka gonka gonka got in there, dude. Yeah, I tell you what, it has messed us up with COVID, dude. I'm doing fantasy, and it's a nightmare. It's no fun. The Titans again, second week in a row. I'm just losing guys because their team's not playing for COVID,
Yeah.
and you're just like, this is not even worth it.
They're
Like
playing tonight.
I know, but they postponed. Didn't something else happen again, and now they've caught back up?
Well, they postponed last week's
Yeah.
game. I mean, they made it their bye, and
But the Steelers got canceled this week, so all of a sudden you had to move that.
Yeah, did they?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I could be making that up.
Yeah. We could
What if
be.
I'm like
Yeah.
Belichick has coronavirus? What are you talking about?
What's he
I don't-
saying? And he has to go answer that question. I would love that this gets that high up that he has to go. I do not. Who said that? Nick or breakfast?
we had a guy call me breakfast this
Huh?
weekend on the golf course.
Oh yeah. We got recognized. Bates got recognized first time. Solo recognized.
You know what? I don't even think that was solo. I bet he saw you first, and then
Put it together.
yeah.
And he goes, "Oh, I thought that was Nate's dad. Turns out it's breakfast."
But we did get recognized on the golf course.
We did get recognized. Yeah. We golfed this weekend. Fun little weekend. Golfing next weekend. Golfing coming up Thursday.
Yeah.
Valhalla. Big course. Big deal. Bates hooked this up.
Yeah,
Wow.
This is
How
all
about that?
Bates. Big time course.
That's what I do.
This is would be you mark it off as one of your best courses you ever played. This is
That's
top. U.S. Open was there. Tiger won his Tiger Slam. That was one of the courses. Beat Bob May. How funny is that? Tiger Woods beat Bob May.
Bob May.
Sounds
Yeah.
like a name someone gave me.
I mean, it's
I
like
know,
it's
right?
honestly like it's just nothing. It's like, and he just like was obviously a great golfer,
Uh-huh.
but when you see the video, it's like Tiger's like, this is 2000 Tiger. It's like Nike. It's like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's just the
Top of the
boom,
world.
boom, top of the world. We're all like think he's the coolest guy in the world, and his foe is someone's dad, Bob May, and Bob May got after it. I
Yeah.
mean, it was a problem. He was that good.
You want to lose to somebody really bland when you're like the greatest superstar in the world.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, that's what's tough with golf, I think, because you don't lose to cool. You know, Miami Heat just lost to the Lakers, LeBron James. It's like cool. In golf, you could be, you're Tiger Woods, you're all these like cool guys, and then you lose to Fred Couples. And it's like, well, who's that? And it's a guy that you would, if you see me like, that guy's one of the best golfers ever. You're like, that guy is?
Yeah.
Like, it's just a guy in slacks that, picking his daughters up from school. And he just destroys you on the golf course. Phil Hill. I feel like every time there's a guest, Aaron doesn't speak as much. We've had a lot of problem with Aaron not speaking. Aaron, why don't you speak as much?
Just out of
man?
respect for the guest, you know.
That is true.
But it's Nick.
But it's Nick, and Nick's kind of
Oh, okay.
a co-hosty. Nick's staying here for a month.
I'm never leaving.
He's never
What if
leaving.
I just live on this table.
Especially if we
Till
go by
Nick's
these
not coming
reviews.
home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speak, Aaron. What's your problem, man?
I'll try to step up, man. I was
Yeah.
just trying to give some room,
Yeah. Well,
you know.
Phil doesn't like it.
And maybe he does like it.
Maybe
He
he
just
is,
want everyone
because
to-
you know what? I feel like every time there's a guest, Aaron, episodes are better because he doesn't speak up as much. T-Cum 1012. Nate is a good guy when he has the same chair as the rest of the group. That is true.
Yeah.
Oh, what a
I
sacrifice.
could get a better chair. That is a good sacrifice.
Brian's not impressed.
I
I
mean,
know.
what do they want?
These are nice
A
chairs.
throne?
These are
Yeah.
good chairs. I should have it.
That would be great if your chair was like twice as high as everybody else's,
It should be.
and you just start. What do
don't
you think of that?
I don't think the podcast being my name's enough. It should be one more. I should separate. I should build something that separates us.
Nateland.
We might be changing buses this week, and we're all be riding in bunks. So I'll be amongst the people.
Wow.
Oh,
None of y'all will be near me, but I will be in the bunk as you. I will have multiple bunks around me that are empty, but I will be in the same bunks as the people on the bus. Wait till I'm gonna have a car just drive behind us, and I just get out. And when I did that cruise ship with Paul Allen, my big corporate gig, they almost had his boat follow the cruise ship, which was like, it was just because it's like he has to do work. He has a basically cruise ship. If
Yeah.
anybody's ever looked it up, you can go, I forget what it's called, but Octopus maybe or something. But you go look up Paul Allen's boat, and it's unreal. It's got a submarine on it. It's crazy. But he was rented out a cruise ship that was 250 people only on it, so it's empty. And there was a moment of like where he's like, well, should I just have my ship follow in case he's got to get off? And he was just like guy that sometimes needs a space. I mean, I get it.
Right.
Like he's changing the world, so maybe he needs a space. He's allowed a space, but he didn't do it. But it was crazy to be like that could have been an option.
Yeah. So
If I wanted to have a car, trail or bus, I probably couldn't afford that.
you ever hear about those billionaires? They buy a house. They also just buy every house
Yeah,
around it. They like buy the whole neighborhood.
because they don't want anybody near them.
Yeah.
Elon Musk, I think, did
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I look, when you get to that certain level, it makes sense. It's something everybody would do. I think it's because you're looking for some privacy
Yeah.
in the fact that when these guys are so big, if you can't have just your regular neighbor just be like, that's Elon Musk. Like it just gets out.
Mhm.
And then you have people, so you're just like, I'll just buy every house and no one's allowed.
That's
back.
you with the bunks.
That's me with the bunks.
Yeah.
I make a place. And I'm gonna wake up y'all in the middle of the night and go switch bunks. I want your bunk now. I'm
That's
gonna make moves like that just to make a point. You know what I mean?
That's
Just
what your
to-
daughter did to me this weekend.
Harper likes the top bunk. She wakes up and Buttercup is right beneath her, and she tells you she's up, right? the
Sometimes
first
I would
one.
just open my eyes and she'd be right in my face, like leaning over.
She's got the curtain open.
Yeah, her foot was in my face one time.
Yeah.
I love it. She had her hands like going under the little hole. Like
She set her alarm. So Harper, we had fall break. Harper and Laura came on the road with me, and so Harper would. I mean, she was just not going to bed till midnight because it's it's on a bus. She loves being the top bunk. It's a fun trip, and she would set her alarm for 7 a.m. because she wants to get up and then have time in the bus, but she needs sleep. And like the good dad I am, I would, once she goes to bed, I'd climb up there. I'd take her. She has a little iPad, and I would take the alarm off. And the next day I go, what time did you wake up? She's looked at me so mad. She goes, 9:50 because someone turned my alarm off. And I go, did they? Wonder who did that.
that's like you do that when it's like Christmas and you're like, I was waiting for Santa Claus. Well,
Yeah.
Santa came 3 hours ago.
Yeah.
You know.
Where's it? Yeah, I don't know what happened. Leah Isabella, Aaron's face when Nick said that Krispy Kreme probably had dairy because of the cream should be on the next T-shirt for the podcast. You could see him trying to figure out if it's worth arguing or if he should just let y'all have it, which is the podcast in a nutshell. I think that is true.
Yeah.
Aaron's like a scientist that you know the answer, but you're having to watch us.
I don't even
Trying
think
to figure it out.
he's that smart. It's just that we're so dumb that it makes him look smart in
Well,
comparison.
he went to Notre Dame.
I believe that.
I don't know. You went to Notre Dame. It's pretty great. Did you get a scholarship at Notre Dame?
No.
You look like you're
Uh,
wearing a Northwestern hat today, though.
Oh yeah. This is some random school.
School. I
Yeah.
don't know why you think Northwestern, but
It's purple.
with tigers. Yeah, it says tigers on it. Northwest Wildcats. It's kind of the same thing, right? They're the same family.
They're known for.
Badonka Texas hold me girl. TX hold 'em girl. Peggy is my name. Don't even bother letting Nate try to pronounce my handle.
Too
I'd
late.
already tried it. Too late, Peggy. Peg. You could do an entire show of Nate trying to read. People think the best part of the podcast is the comments. In reality, the best part is hearing Nate try his best to read the comments. And also, I agree with whoever said, get Brock a hat. It looks like a secret club that he got left out of, and he's very worried about it.
Some of us
not
are
a
trying to
big
look
hat guy.
professional.
I've debated not
Like
being
doing
a
a
hat
garage
guy
sale.
anymore.
Yeah.
I still like a hat. I'm just in the habit of it, but I some days don't want to wear a hat anymore.
On stage or just in life?
I don't ever wear it on stage.
Yeah.
I've wore one. I've honestly, there's a handful of times I've wore a hat on stage. Everybody thinks I wear a hat on stage. I've never worn one on stage. I wear it immediately off stage, but I never did it because you don't want the shadows covering your
Yeah.
eyes.
Yeah.
My eyes are that's what sells your jokes, man. You gotta have your face, and you got yours. Your eyes covered down.
Yeah.
Imagine the laughs you could get if people could see those eyes. Steve Keck, I can't imagine this being your objective, but the animals episode turned me vegetarian. Knowing how smart pigs are made me reevaluate everything, and I don't like the idea of eating something that experiences fear walking into a slaughterhouse. Well, sorry you're gone, Steve, because we ate pig right after that. No,
I had a lot of pig this weekend.
we did. I get it. I feel like I could be vegetarian. I can somehow get in some weird thing that I'll end up like something would click in my head and I couldn't get it out, and then I would end up switching. Right now, I don't have that yet, but I
Yeah.
could see.
This
I
comment
could see
did
it
that
happen.
for you. You're like,
No, Steve hasn't got me yet.
I feel like I'd feel worse if the pig was brave.
Yeah,
Then that's like a admirable trait.
yeah. Oh, like if he
He says he doesn't like that experience as fear,
Fear.
but if it was brave. All right.
if he asked
Let's
for
move
it.
on.
Yeah, you wanted Aaron to talk more, did
There
you?
you go. This is why I don't do it.
Yeah, you like that, Phil? Madeline Brishanahan. Aaron's fun fact that only 3 words in the English language start with DW is incorrect. His source was West Wing because Jed Bartlett says it. Aaron, I think you need to use better sources than fiction TV shows. For example, dwarf, dwell, dwindle, dwine, dwam, dwarfism, dwelling, and dwelt. My source, the Merriam-Webster Dictionary.
I feel like she kind of threw
Boom!
dwarf out there a bunch. Like there was
She
like
said different angles, dwarfing. But that's, I mean,
That is what it's
blown
from.
up, dude.
I'll be honest. That is what it's from. That's a
Woo.
line from season 1, episode
Madeline.
6
I might fly Madeline
of The
in.
West Wing. But I will say, look, a lot of these words are just derivatives of the same word. Dwell, dwelling, dwelt. That's all
Dwindle,
the same.
dwine, dwam.
Dwam is not a word.
I think Madeline
Wanna look that up?
disagrees.
Well, I trust Aaron Sorkin.
DWs are hard to say generally.
Yeah.
Like
Daryl Walter.
that's why, I mean, I said it last week, but it's the dwarf is hard for me to say.
Yeah.
And it's like, could you imagine
Dwarf.
also being named like Dwayne?
Dwam
And
is
you're
a
having a
Scottish word used in the Northeast.
Oh, Scottish words. If we're bringing in other countries, I'm sure there are a ton. We're talking about America here, dude.
Dwayne.
All right, we're going to have Aaron and Madeline go at it head or head during the Krispy Kreme challenge of naming DW words.
It won't take long. There's only 3.
Alex Spears, someone explained to me why Barstool looks like a toddler and a senior citizen at the same time. That's a pretty good
That
one.
was a good.
Toddler and a senior citizen.
But we always had somebody say you look 20 and 40. I feel like you just.
Yeah,
like,
but
oh,
yours is meaner and funnier.
Yeah,
and that's
that
what
was-
makes it great.
It's definitely meaner.
That was
3 English words begin with DW: dwarf, dwell, and dwindle.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm still on Madeline. Team Madeline. BSF 125. Love the podcast. This may come as a shock, but I think you guys misunderstood something when it came to the eye patches. Pirates are storming ships, so they don't get to choose where to fight. The fight happens wherever they find someone on the ship. When they first get to the ship, the fight is on the deck in the sunlight, but there may be more crew in the hull of the boat. If a pirate kills the people on the deck, they may then have to enter the hull to see if there's more crew to fight there. If they are blind entering the dark hole, they could be killed immediately by anyone inside. Before the pirate's eyes adjust, the person inside would have been there a while, so wouldn't have the same problem. By the way, I don't know anything about pirates. This is just what makes sense given the info on hand. Keep up the good work, fellas. I was in. I was like,
Yeah.
all right, wow.
this
guy.
sounded like a
we got a
doctor
pirate
in
guy.
Pirates.
We have a pirate guy right here. By the way, I don't know anything about pirates. I love that.
It makes sense.
That's the spirit of this show.
That's what we want.
Yeah.
This guy could do
The
the
guy
show.
talking so confidently,
Yeah.
and then at the end, he's
There you
like, I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Guys, just makes sense in my head why they did that. All right, good for him. J Stu 72. There's 0 chance that Nate and Aaron survive being marooned. Benchmark might survive. The look on his face leads me to believe he has considered every possible tragedy and he is mentally prepared. That's here's the you might have you've considered every possible tragedy, but I think the possibility. I think your world is smaller than people think. I don't think you've only lived here. You have what experiences do you have?
I was in Louisville and Charlotte, North Carolina this
There you go.
weekend.
I mean, borderline when we first go on the road was 5th time he's ever flown. No, I don't know if that's true, but you were not a big flyer before.
No, I'd fly about once a year before we went on the road. So
So
not much.
Yeah,
So you think your travels?
I
would
think my
pre-
experience
that would prepare you more to be.
I think I have a lot
marooned?
more information to.
So when the plane goes down and crashes, that's somehow going to help you because you've been on that plane a lot.
Just
No,
makes
if I
no
make
sense.
it-
Be like, I've been to Des Moines, so I can
If I
lasso this
survive-
tree.
Yeah, if I make it, I think I have a lot more. I think experience is a gigantic thing to have.
Yeah.
Jay Larson commented you would survive for 5 days and then you'd be gone.
You guys are.
Wow.
I'm gonna do it. Y'all eat Krispy Kreme donuts. I'm gonna be on an island. Let's see what happens. All right. Helix. Helix mattress. We sleep on a mattress on the bus, and I love it when I get back to get to my Helix mattress. Nick is on our Helix mattress during this month. He loves it.
I'm a big
Very
fan.
comfortable. Helix Sleep has a quiz that takes 2 minutes and matches your body type and sleep preferences to the perfect mattress for you. Everybody's unique, and Helix knows that, so they have several different mattress models to choose from. They have soft, medium, and firm mattress. Mattress is great for cooling you down if you sleep hot, and even a Helix Plus mattress for plus size folks. I took the Helix quiz. I was matched with Helix Dusk Luxe mattress because I wanted something that felt medium, and I'm a side sleeper. Always been a side sleeper. I like sleeping on my side. Do y'all sleep on your side?
And my back. I do both.
A little bit of both.
I feel like I
Sometimes.
change every night.
I change. I'm a side guy.
All over.
I set it up. I love it. The delivery was easy. Setting up was fast. As again, I've said before, the setting up was unbelievable. You take it out of that bag.
Yeah.
It's the best part of. I mean, the mattress is super comfortable. That's the best part.
Yeah.
But it's fun the second you get it.
It really is crazy comfortable. Like, I love sleeping.
You've been on it. Yeah, it's great.
What if I were to bring it home with me, like on the plane through TSA?
We could put it back in the bag.
Seal it up.
We could put it back in the bag.
I
It would
think it'd
fly
be
with
more
you.
fun to have not in the bag, and I try to bring it like and just with my
And
bike
just go in there
and say,
the
look, I have a bike
and the
I need
mattress.
and this mattress.
Helix is awesome, but you don't need to take my word for it. Helix was awarded the #1 best overall mattress pick of 2020 and by GQ and Wired magazine. Just go to helixsleep.com/Nate. Take their 2-minute sleep quiz, and they'll match you to a customized mattress that will give you the best sleep of your life. They have a 10-year warranty, and you get to try it out for 100 nights risk-free. They'll even pick it up if you don't love it. That's the best thing. You can try it for 100 nights. That's a good go. You get a really good go.
100 nights.
And you're going to keep it, man. There's no way you're not. Helix is also offering up to $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners at helixsleep.com/Nate. Thank you, Helix Mattress. All right, before we get started with this week's episode, we are going to, one thing I want to talk about, Bill Burr hosted SNL, and we watched it, and it was unbelievable. Burr did great. It was a big, big deal, man. I'm obviously, Bill, we're with All Things Comedy, and that's Bill and Al Madrigal. But seeing Burr come, he's the guy to me that I've talked about on this. I got to watch him come up. He was above me, but I got to watch his success as he rose into now he's hosting SNL. And he did it, man. The stand-up on it, I think it's great for stand-up comedians, for pure stand-up comedians. We are the funniest. Burr was the funniest. You're not doing nothing better than him, man. Every sketch was better. Everything was great, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like the writing on the show gets like with a comic in the room. I'm obviously being a stand-up comic, but stand-up comedy is an amazing art form, and dudes are just the funniest, dude. And he was the best. He absolutely killed it. Walked out, owned it. It's like, how do you not just book that guy multiple times?
Yeah.
How do you not want that? You're not. It's just to start this SNL like that is just so good, and it was just a huge thing to get to see that and get to watch it. We all watched it on the bus and being on the road and seeing a real stand-up comic, do it. Someone that's not like, Chris Rock's a real stand-up comic. He did, but Chris was on SNL.
Mm-hmm.
Chris did amazing. And then when you get to see like Burr pop up, it's like,
yeah,
this dude's just straight up comes out of his own world. That's what it's about. He's a stand-up. He's his own thing. It's Bill Burr. Bill Burr is what is his own thing. And now you're bringing him over hosting this SNL. And it was awesome. It was awesome to get to watch. Also, one little quick link to that, but it's to our producer, Laura Bargatze. It's our anniversary today. October 13th, which you'll be watching this on the 14th. But
happy anniversary. I'm
Thank
glad
you.
I'm here to ruin it for you by
No,
sleeping at your house.
we love it. We love it. I've been on Jason Day. Past 2 years, I've been his anniversary. They've spent it with me. So
Wow.
2 years in a row. One was last year was their 10-year anniversary.
That's a big one.
And it was that's a big one. They were at our house. And this year we were together. But we love having you, Nick. Nick, happy anniversary to us.
Yeah. I feel like I've actually been at your house other anniversaries.
Yeah.
As a comic, you always end up celebrating. Laura does very good with, Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is a big day to work. It's a great comedy night out. So we don't really get those together. And then also like her anniversary, she has to put up with not doing, not getting on the exact day, but she pulls it in stride, and happy anniversary.
So, like, are the three of you going to do something romantic tonight?
Maybe.
I got
See
them
what happens.
flowers.
Sleep on our
Oh.
Helix mattress together.
Everybody comes in. The dog, everyone.
we
In
all
my
fit
bed.
on there. All right, this week, they're talking about what's she talking about? Imaginary people, right?
Yeah.
That's what someone
Imaginary
mentioned.
friends.
Imaginary friends, and you know what? We're going to talk about that. This week, we're going to talk about hoaxes and urban legends. We have a joke of mine that actually fits with this story. We're going to play that. I think we can play this clip, and it's not going to not be cut off. I think this clip, we have it on its own thing.
Yeah.
Hopefully that happens. We'll see. If you can't hear it, then we somehow got cut off. But I think I own this clip, so we're good to go. I don't know. I'm a pretty dumb guy. Pretty dumb. It's fine though. I don't know. Here's my proof. If you need, you don't need. I don't think you need proof, but if you need it, my first job when I was 15, I worked in Nashville. Nashville used to have a theme park called Opryland Theme Park. So I worked there, and one day I was eating lunch, and this couple sits down, and we meet each other, and I was like, "Hey, my name's Nate," and they were like, the guy goes, "My name's John. This is my wife Jane, and her last name is Doe." He was like, "We're John and Jane Doe," and I was like blown away. I was like, "Are you serious, dude?" I was like, "Can you even do that?" And he's like, "We're doing it." I don't know, like. Blown away. Couldn't believe it. Cut to when I was 35, I was driving, and I just started randomly thinking about meeting John and Jane Doe. And I was like, you know what? I bet they were lying to me about that. That's how long it took. 20 years for me to catch on. Yeah, I bet they were lying to you about that. I looked them up. I Googled them. I tried. And yeah, turns out they were murdered. That's what I found out. And, that's what you get for lying to kids. That's what happens. They still don't know who did it. John and Jane Doe. That was a real story. That really happened. Worked at Opryland Theme Park. I remember I was at lunch, and they were sitting across from me. And then they told me. And I remember it.
And how old were you?
Weird thing to do as a couple.
Yeah.
What if they were called John and Jane Doe? I had to be 15 or 16. Opryland was my first job. So whenever you could work, did you work 15? I think I was 15 because I think my mom dropped me off the first day and would pick me up. And then it's quick you get a job at 15, man.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Why do you think they just wanted to mess with you?
I have no idea. Probably. They could have been. They were kids, and they were probably 20.
Yeah.
So they could have been like, the guy's like, "My name's John and Jane, and her last name's Doe," and they're like, "That's funny." And they could have even been like, "Oh, they didn't know that I would take it." Like, this is my first job. I'm like talking to other coworkers. I've never done that. They're older than me. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, it took a long time for me to even remember that. Like when I thought of that as a joke,
Yeah.
it just popped in. Like it was like something I was like, oh yeah, I got told that. I remember getting told that.
But that's like a name too, or at least me. I probably wouldn't even find out in the end that was the.
I never found out for sure, but
or
I
just even
imagined.
the John and Jane Doe. That is like those are fake names. Like I feel like I would never.
John Doe. You know that they use that as a name though.
Yeah.
For like if they don't know a crime, like if they're John Doe was killed last night. Like they don't know the name of the person that got killed.
Yeah. See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you just thought, don't name your kid John Doe because you are in trouble. If you're in these kids, these John Doe kids, it's a very common American name, and they never make it. They never make it. Do you know that? Everybody knows that. Like, I'll tell you what. You know who has it rough in this country? That's who we need to be doing marches for. The John Does of the world that can't walk outside without getting shot. Hundreds of them a day. No one talks about them. And the Janes.
Could you imagine naming your kid John Doe.
I'm
And then
sure there's real names that are John Doe.
Yeah.
I'm sure there has to be.
I
Some of
don't
his
know
last
any
names will be
Does.
Doe.
Yeah.
If your last name's Doe,
I've never
Is
met
that a
someone.
popular? I've never met anybody named Doe.
I bet it's a name.
I can't. I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
But
It's like a big like ex, high school linebacker, or
I know a
offensive
John
lineman.
Downs.
it's close.
It's close.
I will say, anytime I have to give my name at a restaurant or anything like that, I give a fake name
Yeah.
Wow.
because I don't like saying my own name. I always have to repeat it. I give a fake.
I say Nathan
Nathan.
a lot instead of Nate. Because when I say Nate, I think I say it. They don't. I have to say it multiple times. And if I can go Nathan, I can say it and it just gets it easier.
Yeah, they're not going to confuse that for anything.
Yeah.
For some reason, the older I get, people are starting to hear me say Mick instead of Nick.
Yeah.
They go, "All right, Mick." I
Yeah.
go, "No, Nick." Mick, we'll get you in a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like
I think you look like a Mick though.
yeah.
I could see you being a Mick.
when
Yeah,
my-
Mick is the guy that's going to come up. You're like, I've been talking to Mick all day. Have you met Mick? Like you're talking to everybody.
Yeah.
You could be a Mick.
It
Yeah.
says there
Makes
are
it
real
good.
people named John and Jane Doe.
You
Yeah.
loved that we were in when the manager came up and was like, "Well, good talking to you earlier." You're like, "Ah."
Yeah,
At the
where was that?
hotel. The hotel in
Nick will talk to everybody, man. Nick loves. What did when we were walking somewhere and you go, I would have asked him. I like asking him. Like Nick loves asking questions and then getting he just wants to walk into wherever he goes and goes, "Oh, do you want to ask some questions about that? Do we need questions answered?" Nick's wonderful because he loves talking to him. He's going to talk to him anyway.
Yeah.
So you might as well give him a task. You know what I mean? Like you might as well get something out of
Yeah.
it. No matter what, we're going to wait for him to talk to everybody. So I might as well throw, hey, ask where the bathroom's at as well. Just so we know where it's at. So we can get something, at least I get some information about it.
Do you talk on flights, Nick, to people next to you?
I'm a big I'll talk to somebody that looks like they're working, and I'm like, "So what do you do?"
He's like,
They're
I'm a
like-
flight attendant. I
Yeah.
have a flight attendant, I'm the pilot. That's why I'm up front with the pilot stuff.
Why are you in here?
Oh.
I'm
How long
definitely
you been doing that? You flying this plane? You're not flying this plane? Yeah, I'm flying it.
yeah. There's definitely times where I'll see somebody throw a headphone on,
Yeah.
start working.
I
and
would
I'm
start
Because
because
you've been
I'm
talking
I'll
to
be
them.
talking to them about
Yeah.
stuff.
If anybody was listening, Nick took his headphones off and back on just for because there's audio people, and they
Yeah.
might be like, "I'd like to see an act out of that." And, well, you got to be a video watcher if you want to see the full act out of Nick. Headphones back off, back on, and then he did a little. Remember the sketch we did where it was like the words. A long time ago, we were playing charades.
Oh yeah.
We have video of it, and Nick, it was a masseur, which is a man masseuse,
Yeah.
and so the word was masseur. So him acting it out, he just went so he did massage hands, but with going and it's we were angry massage, and it was no, it's man massage because a man doesn't mean Remember that?
Yeah,
That was the greatest. And ukulele.
yes, I remember.
He started going. He started playing the flute. So the
Yeah.
word is ukulele, and he keeps going he's doing a flute action with his hands.
Yeah.
And we're going flute, harmonica. We're yelling all that stuff, and he'd get frustrated. He goes, and then he does the same. When we didn't get it, it was him going back to the same exact thing. When you see someone do charades, they always you always end up doing that.
Yeah.
Or if they're Pictionary, they're drawing. And they're like, no, that's not it. And then they just draw the same thing again and then tap at it, point at the same thing.
I was so convinced that a ukulele
Was
is
up there.
something maybe not a flute, but in the family.
Yeah. And when he gets back, he goes, when we get done, he goes, ukulele. And Big J goes, you mean the little guitar thing? And he goes, yeah, never mind. I was way off. There was no way you were getting it.
You're holding a violin almost.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Violin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Violin. We could have maybe at least got into the ukulele family with violin. What about hoaxes? There's been a ton of them. I talked about hoaxes Manti Te'o was a big hoax, right? I have a
Yep.
joke about that.
Yeah.
Manti Te'o was at the crime museum we went to this weekend. Went to in Dollywood, this is a joke I think I'm going to do if they talk about stand-up being in the act. I think I can put this, so I won't do the whole thing. But we went to Alcatraz, this crime museum, and took Harper, 8 years old, to a crime museum. and it's don't. Last night I hear crying. Her and Laura's trying to get her to sleep, and I just hear bawling. And I go in, and she's thinking about is, I mean, it is just a straight up.
Yeah.
It is a big crime museum
Yeah.
that goes into very much detail.
I was scared in the middle of the night.
It's a lot.
I woke up and was like,
It's a lot. When we walked in, it's like everything's fine, and then it was just not fine.
Don't they have like John Wayne Gacy's clown suit there? I mean, they
Oh
got serial
yeah,
killer
dude.
stuff. Right?
Oh, it's crazy.
it does
Wow.
get
It's
progressive.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I'm gonna try it on stage.
But Manti.
So they had Manti Te'o in there because they had like that kind of stuff, and I had a joke about Manti Te'o.
Oh.
But Manti Te'o had a girlfriend. Remember, there's the big hoax, big Notre Dame guy,
Yeah.
right? This is what you guys did. This is what
Yeah,
everybody
I
knows
was in
you
the
guys
thick
from.
of this, dude.
You were in the thick of it.
not
He
really, but I
played
was-
the girlfriend.
That's
Yeah.
right. I was Lene Kukua.
Were you in school when this happened?
This was my junior year. Yeah.
Junior
that
year.
This happened. So my roommate was on the football team,
Yeah.
and I remember we're watching ESPN, and this story comes on.
Wow.
And he immediately says, "This is nonsense," because I talked to this girl on the phone.
Wow.
So he was like, "That's
His gut reaction was, "This is nonsense." I know Manti. I talked to her on the phone at work, just in passing, like in the locker room, like, "Oh,
Yeah.
my girlfriend says hi." Talk
So
to
did
her.
he
Yeah.
never meet her?
Never met her.
Never
It was
met
like
her.
it was just an online relationship.
Yeah.
And so then, we're watching, we're like, this is crazy. And then just throughout the day, everything just kind of
Yeah, it
collapses.
was
on
crazy.
itself. It was wild.
And
And this
she was supposedly in Hawaii.
she was
California, wasn't
California. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's from Hawaii.
Yeah.
This is a week after we lost the national championship game too. So this is like
Mm.
this 2-week stretch is like everything's falling apart.
Yeah.
At Notre Dame.
It's all Notre Dame.
I thought it
It's
happened
all
before the
bad.
national championship.
No, he had kind of found out what was going on. He found out at the Heisman ceremony. Actually,
Mhm.
that's a crazy part of the
Yeah.
story.
Wow.
But it didn't
But-
come out publicly till
No,
afterwards.
not till a week after.
They show like the
Is it-
photo of the real person.
Was he trying to get
Yeah.
her to come to the Heisman thing? He's probably trying to get her to come. Like, hey, I'm going to maybe win the Heisman. And
Well,
then
she
that's-
she had already died by that point.
Oh, she died.
Now,
That's right.
he's at. This is the story that I've heard. I think I've heard him talk about it. He's at the Heisman ceremony, and during a commercial break, he gets a phone call
Yeah.
from her,
Yeah.
who he thinks is dead.
Wow.
Wait, how
So-
did she die? So do the quick run through the Manti Te'o.
Yeah, sure.
Just a brief over. Do you know it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know it?
Brian's got the information
Yeah.
in front of him. You can, do it.
So basically, she had cancer, and or at least that's what she told him.
Manti
Right?
Te'o is a linebacker for Notre Dame. Big time linebacker.
Yeah.
Great.
One of the best. Was it
Right.
well,
Lost
was
in
it
all
for-
of this
Yeah.
is like he's one of the best college football players ever.
Yeah.
He won every award except the Heisman.
So
Yeah,
came in
Te'o and his
second.
parents on December 26th, day after Christmas. That's nice. They waited. Found out that he'd been a victim of what appeared to be a hoax. Someone using a fictitious name apparently ingratiated herself with Te'o, the school said. In the early morning, December 26th, Manti called his coaches to inform them while he was in attendance at the ESPN Awards show in Orlando. He received a phone call from a number he recognized with Lenina Kukua. When he answered it, it was a person whose voice sounded like the same person he had talked to, who told him that she was, in fact, not dead. Manti was very unnerved by that, as you might imagine. So at first he thought she was still his girlfriend, still real, but actually alive.
I like
No,
this at an
I
ESPN
think-
award show.
It gets
It's
so
the
It's the
Heisman.
It's the Heisman.
It's the
ceremony.
Heisman.
Yeah.
It's the biggest thing in the world.
Right.
That is such a non-sports person article written. They were doing some ESPN. I don't know. It's like a game show, award
it's
show,
like
like
a
something they get like some trophies or something.
Football gala.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something?
something where like a lot of the guys that are
Well, this
the
is a-
better guys,
It's
I
interesting.
think
This is a
meet up
ESPN
together and they
article.
do something.
It was
Is
a
it-
super
It's
contest.
a long. They do something like that. It's a meeting that I don't know. I think it's on TV. I think they show it at. It's the whole Heisman's the biggest thing on earth,
I know.
and it's
man.
like there's commercials. It's unbelievable. There's the trophy's famous.
Yeah.
It was
So this is So he, just to set the stage a little bit, his girlfriend died and his grandmother died on the same day.
his real grandmother.
His real grandmother died,
Yeah.
and then his girlfriend died on the same day. And this became a national story because he went out and played and had like a great game.
Yeah.
And then that becomes just a story that people talk about all season.
Yeah.
That this great player on an undefeated team overcame these 2 losses in his life.
Yeah.
So, you know, she's dead, and then he gets a call from her at the Heisman ceremony saying, I think she answers, and she's like, I'm on the run from drug dealers. And he's just like, I can't talk about this right now.
That's crazy.
Like, they're about to come back from commercial break.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
Yeah.
And so did they ever catch like this woman?
This is why too, leave your phone off.
I know.
Yeah.
If you're in a big moment like that, just give your phone to your mom and say, "Hey, hold on to this. I just want to stay in this moment and enjoy this moment."
Yeah.
That's crazy to be a commercial. Hello? Huh?
Yeah.
Like just to be
It's like your
like
car.
you're in the middle of the Heisman.
Can you imagine? Yeah, so they caught the guy who did it. Yeah, a guy named Renaya Tuasasopo.
Yeah.
And he was talking to her in just a girl voice.
He claims to be her. They would talk for hours and hours every night. They'd fall asleep talking to each other on the phone. It turns out it was this guy. He's also a Hawaiian guy.
Yeah.
But would he
Renaya.
change his voice? Like he's an
He
unbelievable
would.
actor.
He would, but some people don't think it was him because on Dr. Phil, he refused to replicate that voice.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't do it with the cameras going. So I don't know what he was doing to
Well,
get that voice going.
Yeah. So maybe that's pretty. So it's kind of fun that maybe it's still the other person's still out there.
Yeah.
But I could also see that too, to be like, what if he's got to be in some crazy character mindset that he's in his room, like, hello, like, you know, and he's got to, and it would be super embarrassing to do on TV with a live audience. Like in a world where he's like, dude, I can't, like, it's in, like, you know,
What if he just nailed it though, and he just is like unbelievable on
if he
Dr.
does
Phil?
it,
if
and
you
everybody's
listen
like, he
to the
switches.
audio,
he's an actor, and
Like
you're
he becomes like the Jim Carrey all of a sudden. Like it's like switches character.
if you hear the audio, and there's some clips out there that he released, I mean, you would just never in a million years think it was a guy.
Would he release voicemails or something?
He released some voicemails, yeah.
Do you see if you can find the voicemails?
Yeah.
There, so you would, so he would just have some. God, that's crazy. The joke I had about Manti Te'o, which I have this exact joke, was defending him and the fact that like it's like, because everybody made fun, like they make fun of him, and you're like, dude, everybody could fall for this. How?
Right.
And especially in college, like I never did online dating, but I'd imagine everything you have relationships in a world where they do become real, and you don't ever really meet this person until probably towards the end.
And then once you look into like the extreme lengths this guy went to lie to Manti, he found this girl and he used her picture, and then he actually reached out to the girl in the picture and got her to send specific pictures with like words on a he you know.
Wow.
And why did he do it?
What's that?
Why did he do it?
I don't know.
He
Is
didn't.
he trying to get money?
He's asked about. I mean, it's, you know, why do any of these people
Do anything.
But he
get
didn't
into
know.
these-
He didn't know Manti Te'o.
No, he
was
didn't know
he
him personally.
in love with Manti Te'o?
That's part of what they talk about on Dr. Phil. He's like, I mean, I think maybe, I don't know. I'm confused about everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Play. Here's a voicemail sample.
Hi, I'm just letting you know I got here and I'm getting ready for my first session, and I just want to call you and keep you posted. I miss you. I love you. Bye.
I mean,
I mean, I could see a dude being that voice. Hello.
Yeah.
but now that it's in your mind, but if you had just heard that, you'd have been like, that's a woman, right?
Oh no, yeah.
Sure.
I'm saying like I could see that a guy. It's not like she's going like he's having to go so feminine.
Yeah.
Like he's kind of in that middle.
Like in your head,
Ground.
you're thinking that's going to be like the voice of like Kristen Bell from like Frozen.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's like, you know, I don't think he's doing too much. Hello. But it seems like he wouldn't have to get in some big acting for that. It's just, hello. Yeah. You know,
Imagine doing that for hours and hours
Hello?
every night.
Hey, this is Julie. How you doing? How'd the game go last night? You guys look like you did a real good job down there. Just I'm the opposite of. I go the opposite.
You'd know way too much sports facts.
I know. That's great, man. Hey, what was the over under, right? What happened? You think you guys have to kick that field goal? And he's like, I don't know. Maybe he sounds more feminine than me. Like, all right, man. I'll hit you up tomorrow, bro. Good to see you. That'd be great to be. If we would have heard those voicemails, that would have been the best. Those sound legit. So Manti Te'o, I get falling for it. But if he goes, I got the voicemails, and he plays it, and it's like, Manti, what's up? How you doing? Really miss you a lot right now. I love you. Love the flowers that you sent me. I got them. I put them on my table. Anywho, and he keeps going. You guys think you're going to cover? But what's the defense look like against Penn State? They seem like they got a good couple corners. The nickel, they've been running the nickel quite a bit. And he's like, oh, this girl knows all about football, and she loves what I do. Like he's just even falling more in love with it.
I love that. It's like the world's greatest bookie. You know,
yeah,
like it's just like
doing it.
It's also comes out that it's like it's like the creator of Bovada, and he's like, look, I really want.
I read the long snappers had a cold. Is that true? Because I'm putting a lot of money on this, and I need to know, is everybody healthy? Just real specific, you know.
Yeah.
That's funny. What's some other big hoaxes that they've had?
Well, like one of the biggest one. Have you heard? There's a sucker born every minute. That phrase.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that comes from the early 1900s.
How many babies are born a minute? If a sucker's born every minute, is there? I guess there's got. It's like, what is it? 1 out of 100?
That's a good.
Thousand?
What's your guess? How many babies are born a minute
In the world?
Let's do worldwide.
Worldwide?
100,000.
World is crazy. Yeah, 100,000 every minute.
I'm gonna say.
I think that's a lot.
I think 85,000 a minute.
I think it's much lower.
10,000.
Well, what are your? You're already already reading.
Yeah.
Are you real? And you're like, you're changing your answers a lot. You going 100 or 10,000?
I'm gonna go 100,000.
Worldwide, 100,000 babies are born every minute. You got to realize there's so many minutes.
So look at the actual.
I haven't looked yet.
That's a lot.
I haven't looked yet. I don't think. I said it's lower. I think it's lower. I have not looked at the number.
How much
yet.
lower?
I was going to say, 1,000, maybe, if not 80.
That's not bad. Yeah.
53.
Yeah.
256. Yeah, I was going to say 100.
100,000.
256.
I said 85,000.
85,000.
There's a lot of misinformation going around.
Hey, one of us went to Notre Dame. One of us did not. Because I'm the guy I learned from the streets. You're your egghead. You're sitting here looking at the data. Why don't you add up 85,000 babies a minute? Dude, we would have so many people. Overpopulation would be a straight up
higher than
that is kind of crazy.
He said 100,000.
Every 10 minutes, that'd be a million.
He said 100,000 people.
No, I didn't know. Truly.
What do you said 100,000. What do you like? You go 100,000.
Yeah, but
then I go, there's
I'm
no way, dude.
meant,
and you go 10,000.
That's more like 350.
I think 10,000 is even. You said 100,000.
No.
Why you keep saying no?
I said it, but now I'm backtracking.
I know, but you go 100,000, and I go, that's crazy. And then he jumped in 85. He thought that is crazy, Nick, you lunatic. 85,000. That's what Aaron said.
What he tried to do is Price is Right me. Like, let me just go 10 cents lower.
Well, Nick,
Nick, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
But I was convincing because he went 85,000.
Yeah, I know. Nick, what are you, an idiot? 100,000? You should lead the podcast. 85,000. I was going to go 100, and then I thought, well, that's got to be more than that. So I said 1,000 was my low. 256 is the answer.
That's 2016 data, so maybe it's went up, Nick.
So maybe it's up to.
You know what? Yeah, let me know when you get the 2020 data. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Nick said 100,000. So 256. So all right, what is it?
All right. So
one out of it, you got a 1 out of a 256 chance to be a sucker.
Yeah.
So basically, the Cardiff Giant is one of the most famous hoaxes in American history, and it happened in Cardiff, New York. So this guy got in this argument with this preacher. This preacher was saying in the Bible, it said there were giants that roamed the earth at one time, and he thought, I'm just going to mess with him. So he created this petrified 10-foot tall man and buried it. He had some help, but buried it like in the back of a yard, and then waited some time, and then got some well diggers to come, and like, oh, look what we found, a petrified man that's 10 feet tall. and it became this big thing, and they started charging money for it. People came all over around the world to see this, what they thought was a real petrified giant. And then P.T. Barnum was so into it, he asked to...
That's Nick's favorite guy.
P.T. Barnum?
Barnum. Is that not the guy? Who's the... I thought you know a lot about P.T. Barnum. Or who do you know about?
I know P.T. Barnum.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's like the
You know
favorite
him?
guy. I don't know if little people are like, that guy, the circus guy, that's
Who
our
did you
hero.
say? Well, who did you say you liked that you talk about? Like, you read his book or something? Barnum. Maybe I'm thinking that.
Bailey?
Are you like talking about
Who's the
something
other guy?
completely
Barnum and
different?
Bailey.
Barnum and Bailey? Is that?
I didn't read. I'm from Connecticut though, where P.T. Barnum lived in.
Did you do a movie
New
with
Haven.
him or about him? Or?
I didn't get that movie. Thanks for bringing it up.
Yeah.
You're
Maybe
like,
because you weren't a fan.
yeah.
Talking about the Hugh Jackman movie?
The Hugh Jackman movie.
Yeah.
I thought you just mentioned to me this weekend that you liked someone with like a name like that, Barnum or something.
I'm like,
Don't
that's
turn
like
on
a
me just 'cause
wildly
you said.
off.
Don't get mad at me
Like,
because you said 100,000. That's
yeah.
what I feel like. You're mad at me because you said 100,000 and now you're belling on me.
I'm
And when we get
bailing
done
on
with the
you.
show, you're gonna go. By the way, I'm a big P.T. Obviously, I'm a big P.T. Barnum fan. Like,
I actually live in his old house. You know.
yeah.
I'm gonna bring the Helix mattress to the PT.
HelixMattress.com/Nate.
Well, P.T. Barnum offered $50,000 for the giant, and when they refused, he hired someone to create a plaster replica. He just started displaying that, saying, "This is the real giant. Theirs is fake." And it worked because people are like, "Oh, okay."
They believed.
So then,
See, that's the best. You could do all that before social media. If you were
Yeah.
really great at working a room and a crowd, the original, like even newspapers weren't. He would get people there and just kind of go on this crazy.
So
thing.
he wouldn't let people touch it,
probably not.
and then that's why he wouldn't sell it for 50,000 because he's like, it's over if I sell it.
I don't know. I think he just was making so much money himself.
Oh,
People
okay.
coming around to
Charge it.
see it
Yeah,
that he's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
no way. And
Yeah.
then,
50,000 in 1869 is a ton of money.
Yeah.
So then, the phrase "there's a sucker born
It's about
every
100,000 now.
Yeah.
a sucker born every minute" is reference to spectators paying to see Barnum's giant.
Oh wow.
It's
That's
crazy.
the-
They were
yeah.
both fake.
Yeah.
I think the first guy sued P.T. Barnum saying, "You can't show this, it's fake." But they were both fake.
They're both fake. How did they eventually find out? Did they?
They went to court, and then the guy finally had to
Judge
confess.
goes, "Let me just touch it,"
"Yeah,
and he's like, because he probably wouldn't let anybody touch it or get near it. You just looked at it from a distance.
the original Cardiff Giant is currently on display at the Farmers Market." I'm sorry, not Farmers Market. Farmers
That'd be great.
Farmers Museum in Cooperstown, New York.
I think it should be at the farmer's market. Be like, you need eggs?
Yeah.
Or look at that giant.
Yeah,
It's crazy that we're still paying to go see it.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
pay.
it's a made up thing that we're all like, what an idiot. And I'm going to go pay. I'll go to Cooperstown and pay whatever it costs to go look at it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like you
That's
would bring us
insane.
there before you bring us to the Baseball Hall of Fame, though.
I would go see this. I think this would be
Yeah.
fun. I think
Yeah.
I have a better chance of getting a story out of that museum than I do a
Yeah.
baseball museum.
Yeah.
If I'm looking for material, I'm definitely going to, that's got a way better chance
Yeah.
than going to the,
I wonder what the
I would go to both.
what's the management team of that museum like?
I heard
Like
he's-
still like it's like a family legacy where they
What's
keep
weirdly, I think I read something about he's 7 feet tall, the guy that owns it.
no.
Yeah. How crazy is that? That's why he did it.
That's great.
That's
Yeah.
why he did the giant thing.
They're all giants that run this
Yeah.
museum.
It's like
It's a big family. That's how they got into it.
This-
Because they would always get told they were giants.
this
up there.
sounds like a Billy Crystal movie, you know, like did you ever see that My Giant?
Oh, I was supposed to say, which movie are you talking about?
Yeah.
He was a movie about it.
About him being a giant.
George Marison was in it. Big George
Who's it?
Marison
Oh,
fan.
and he what is that?
I don't have no idea.
He's Billy Crystal's
Friend.
giant. Yeah.
And they go there and it's like Eastern Europe, my giant. You know, he's like
Yeah.
he goes around the town with him.
Yeah. All right.
You mean share some more?
Yeah. Do
All right.
another hoax.
War of the Worlds. That's the one that maybe most people think about.
About
This
the
one's
movie?
Great. Yeah.
Well, it was a movie, but it's a real life thing. Orson Welles did a radio play back in the 1930s, and he did one about Martians attacking Earth.
Yeah.
And they say at the beginning of the episode that this is just a play, it's not real, it's whatever, blah, blah, blah. But everyone was tuned to another station at the time, listening to a ventriloquist, which is very funny that you're listening to a ventriloquist. So no one heard the disclaimer that this isn't real. Then once the ventriloquist is done, everyone flips over to this and freaking out because they're attacking Chicago, St. Louis. The National Guard's been wiped out. People are fleeing the big cities. And then people really did start fleeing and freaking out and started begging police for gas masks, requesting their power be shut off so the aliens wouldn't see them. And some people were treated for shock at the hospital.
Wow. That's great.
So they just missed. That's crazy. So they just missed the announcement,
the disclaimer. Yeah.
Hey, this isn't real. Mm-hmm. And then they just hear complete terror.
Yeah. It was like a newsman, folks. Here's the latest. St. Louis has been destroyed.
Yeah.
It says a woman ran into a church in Indianapolis during the evening service, proclaimed, "New York has been destroyed. It's the end of the world. Prepare to die."
Wow.
Yeah.
When CBS got wind of the hysteria, Orson Welles went on the air himself to remind listeners that this was fiction. The FCC investigation found no wrongdoing, but networks agreed to be more cautious regarding programming going forward.
I wonder how many people this was that,
It sounds like a lot of people.
Sounds like a lot of people.
What the greatest thing about it is Orson Welles I believe he had that great voice, right? Didn't he have like
I don't
good,
think
like,
so. But go ahead.
you could, I'm Orson Welles. He had like a great Orson Welles kind of voice.
Yeah.
But what if he just like really like was like, look, I'm not on today, guys. He's like, by the way, it's not real. Like he just kind of like whispered that, and then everybody's like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, it didn't stop and go. This is not real. How many people didn't hear that? I always thought that with in war, when they stop like Civil War, when it's over, there's guys in the mountains. I mean, how long does it take from when it's like, "Hey, we're done," to just a guy that's the farthest away from it being over?
I remember reading about a group of Japanese soldiers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it
was
was
an island, right?
On an island. Yeah.
Wow.
And it was decades, right? Before it, and they just thought the war was still
till
going.
Recently, till 2000. I mean, it was just recently.
Yeah.
I've been to there.
Oh, really?
I went to there. Look up the exact date. They got the guy. I mean, I honestly think it was 5 years ago or 10, maybe 15 years ago, where the guy has been in this. Everybody
this
that would
guy
come,
came to Nate's show. He was like, "Look,
he bought tickets.
You're my enemy, but
he goes,
I want to."
Is that him?
Yeah. So he died in 1997, so not 5 years ago. But it was. I want to say it was. I think this is him. Japanese for hiding on Guam.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Jungle of Guam. 26 years after U.S. forces had regained control of the island in 1944. So way off on the years. It was this,
26 years is pretty crazy, though.
It's crazy, and he just thought the war was over. He thought the war. So anybody that would come talk to him, he just thought they were an enemy.
Yeah,
and so he stayed hidden. And it's like he just thought. I think he maybe saw Americans too and thought, well, they took over. They used to do a bunch of weird stuff at Guam. They didn't want when America was going to take over. They would have people walk off cliffs because they said that America was going to kill your family if they caught you. So they would get them, and there's a cliff that they would just have everybody just walk off and commit to. Like, it'd be better to die that way than to give yourself to the Americans.
Wow.
And they would have them just go right, walk off. Crazy. Families, sad.
It was 1972.
1972.
We also showed that exhibit yesterday to Harper and the.
I explained it to Harper. I go, they got kids who just fall off cliffs. Anyway, good night. I love you. I just don't go to bed. Like, I mean, you watch anything. Dracula movie. I think she get tired. Vampires maybe one night. It's like all kinds of stuff, man. Mm-hmm. And then they just go lay in there, and she's in our bed. But yeah, it's tough.
Where's she now?
I don't know. We haven't seen her since last night.
I thought I heard somebody leave in the middle of the night.
She's in school.
Hear a car start up.
Has anybody had a hoax? Lucy was telling me. Is she gonna tell? She's fine telling.
Yeah, she almost got scammed pretty bad like 2 days ago.
2 days ago, Lucy, Aaron's fiance.
Still?
Yeah,
that a hoax?
yeah.
Okay.
Well,
You think she's not going to do it?
This was this really made me question things, but
Yeah.
I didn't. But yeah, she got a phone call saying that her identity had been stolen,
Mm-hmm.
that it was involved in a drug ring in El Paso, Texas, and in order to verify her information, she had to wire money to somebody, and she almost
She almost did it.
she almost
Wow.
did it. Yeah, pretty close to doing
Yeah.
it.
I would get it. You know what? I had someone steal my identity in Las Vegas. And I had the Las Vegas police call me.
Yeah.
And like they would send me emails, but I think it was real. Like the guy goes, "We found everything
So you
on
should
this."
send him
girl."
some
He
money.
knew. I think the guy knew my information, and he's like, "We found it all through this." No, I was never asked to send money, but he goes, "We found all this information on this person. So this person, they arrested someone that just collects people's information. I was one of the people of the information that they collected, and then so they had all this. I had to find that email." And like the guy, and I didn't know what it was. I mean, I think I showed it to my agent or something. Like I showed it to someone to be like, "Am I crazy? Is this like
Yeah.
not being?" And it was like, but it was the person that just had my information, and I never had to send money. It was like I was just answering questions,
Mhm.
but I was never like confirming or anything. It was straight up him telling me that they found this person with all this information.
Yeah.
I think it happens pretty insane amount now, like through Twitter and through other things where
Mhm.
people are, creating. I know I've been like, even by friends. I mean, you have in your act like multiple times where you're tricking
Yeah.
me and doing the. I'm like the perfect target because I'm very trusting.
Yeah.
So
You think Giants own that place?
yeah, I had the best. Clint had a great hoax on me.
Yeah.
Where he a very good friend of mine. That this is like one of the best pranks of all time. This is, we're going back 15 years.
You better hope this story's amazing because
Yeah.
you're setting it up a lot. I mean, you didn't have to say that. You would have let us just do it.
I wish I hadn't. Now,
I mean,
honestly.
now
I'm like,
you go. One of the greatest pranks of all
100,000
time.
people born a minute. But he so this is pre where you could like check everything out on the internet in such an easy way. This is like 15 years ago, where it was much harder to get information to find out if things were true. So I told my buddy that I was dancing at a club, and I was like, yeah, it was a nutty night. Oh, it was crazy last night. I was dancing on top of a speaker, and I'm dancing, getting crazy, and with all these girls on top of a speaker.
You're making this up.
I'm not making it up.
You're not. That was
I
real.
was on I was like working at the club. I'm dancing on top of a speaker with girls, and it was crazy. And it's like it was like living like a rapper lifestyle. Somebody's like I'm that guy where people are always like, come on this side of the carpet, hang out with us, and I'm like, sure. So I'm dancing on the speaker, and I just tell him loosely that and this is also a little person, my friend. And about 2 weeks later, he says, Nick, you must be so mad. I'm like, what? He goes, they did a story. ABC News did a story about little people that exploit themselves for money. And they had you dancing on that stage. I go, what are you talking about? No. Then he had other people from around the country tell me that, like that I saw that. I'm ashamed at you. I can't believe you would dance like you're exploiting yourself. I'm like, I was just there. Like, they wanted me to go up on the. I did. I went on the speaker because I was like, so like it literally went for like days.
Yeah.
I think even weeks.
Yeah.
That I was like to the point where I contacted ABC's PR department and I was like, we got to figure this out because I'm going to sue you. I'm going to go crazy. Like Clint's mom had to be like, this is going too far. You got to tell. And it was that great moment where I was just like, wow, that was just so, it just made me laugh. Like it was like, I wasn't even mad because it was so funny that it happened like that. And that it was orchestrated because it wasn't like I didn't do anything. It wasn't like I was online too.
Yeah.
This is even like, I believe pre-Facebook. So it wasn't even like I'm like,
check it.
I'm doing like a story of like, oh, ABC, or it just was a couple of phone calls. And it was so much easier to do that and not fact check it.
Yeah. You should tell that story in your act. You should figure out how to say that's a great story. And then it's funny because you think with the internet, you're like, well, it's going to be harder to trick people. And it's actually become easier. And you would think because you're like, oh, I could look everything up. I can see if this is real. and they're starting to figure out, they have ways where Facebook, you get an email from Facebook. I mean, I'll get them where it's an email and it says from it's the Facebook.
Yeah.
There's always one little thing off, but it's like so close that you would never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like, I have a couple stories, but I tell them in my act about you.
Yeah.
But Nick, haven't you pretended to be your own agent?
Whoa. These accusations. We're going to talk. You're offending my agent. What if my agent's listening right now?
My mistake.
What are you saying I'm doing? That
my apologies.
No, but I'll do like, I enjoy that kind of like calling as people or just goofing around. Even my mom, I did something to my mom where I used to call like in goofy voices, like, hello, I'm Nick, like it's like a Russian, randomly.
Yeah. So I heard Mick there, by the way.
Yeah.
Do it again.
Hello, I'm Mick.
Yeah.
So
Mick.
I did say Mick that time, but the first time, but anyways, I would do these phone calls like that. And my mom was trying to sell a car. And so this Russian guy really wanted the car.
Yeah.
And he had like a very like fake sounding accent.
Yeah.
And he's like, hello, I'm interested in like this car. And my mom was like, Nick, shut up. It was just like, and the guy kept calling back and like, no, I'm not Nick. I really want car.
Yeah.
and the guy bought the car.
The guy bought the car. Yeah.
That's funny.
I started thinking one for the only thing I can think of when Twitter first became a thing, there's a standard, I guess. If you're going to do a fake account for someone, you're supposed to make it obvious.
Yeah.
Like it's a fake account.
Yeah.
Of something. I didn't know those rules. So I thought it'd be fun to create an account for Marvin Harrison.
The football player?
Who never says a word. I thought that'd be so funny if Marvin Harrison, was saying funny things. But I wanted it to be fake, but I made it way too real. And I got so many followers so quick.
Wow.
And it was getting out of hand really quickly.
How many followers was it?
I mean, a lot. It was more than I have now.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like
10,000?
Maybe something like I mean, it blew up.
Were you doing statements as him? Like,
yeah, but then I didn't realize you're not supposed to do that. You're suped to make it clear that it's a fake account.
So
a
if
parody
anybody can arrest Brian Bates that's listening, he's.
I mean, I deleted it quickly.
Marvin Harris might. If he finds out about it, we know now he doesn't have he's a little bit of a temper on him. Marvin Harris doesn't talk ever, and then he retires and didn't he shoot somebody
at a car wash or something?
Yeah. I was in my head. I was like, wasn't there a crazy?
It's
story
crazy.
About
It's the best. Like I mean, not the best. It's sad, but it's funny to me. Marvin Harris was like. You're like, what a wonderful guy. Like, and I'm not saying he's not bad. I don't know what the situation was.
Yeah.
But it's just crazy to be like, he never spoke.
Yeah.
And then kills a guy, like, or something, or some kind of shooting involved.
And this it already happened when I created this account.
Yeah.
Which made me think this will be so much funnier, but I made it way too real.
All of a sudden, you got a lot of new followers or comments. Like one day.
There they go.
Like,
I've got a lot of fake accounts right now.
Yeah.
That I get messages. If you're hearing this, if I don't have a check mark next to my name, then that's not it. I get messages a lot, and they're getting really good. They use your photo that you're currently using on your thing, and then people send me direct pictures of the direct message. Like they'll be like, "Hey, what's up?" And they're like, "Oh, I'm a big fan," and they're like, "Oh man, I appreciate you. I love hanging out. I'd love to meet you after the show sometime. Please come. We'll get you tickets. Come to shit." Like, I mean, it's a whole long drawn out thing, and then they send it to me to be like, "Hey, this is crazy," but it seems like it's a real person. It's not a bot kind of.
They're crazy. I was in it just happened to me actually. But I wasn't. They weren't making up that they were me. But I was in a New York Times article, and the writer of that article is like a big writer, and he has a lot of Twitter followers. And I got a message from him, and he was like, "Hey, blah blah blah, can you sign up for this thing?" And it was like some kind of disability related thing, and that I'm in that world. And so
Easter Seals.
Yeah, I
run
run
this.
this.
Give you a plug?
Yes, I run this Easter Seals Disability Film Challenge. It's a weekend film competition where you need to have somebody with a disability in front of or behind the camera. If you guys go to disabilityfilmchallenge.com, check out all the amazing films from this year's challenge. But so anyways, I'm in that world of disability. So I thought like, oh, well, maybe I'll just sign this thing. And I tell him, oh, by the way, thank you so much for including me in this article, and what an amazing honor. No problem. You deserve it. And we're having a conversation as if this is the writer. But then he keeps asking me to click this thing and sign up for some kind of loan involving disability. And I'm like, well, I mean, it is in this disability thing, and the article is about the challenge and me. So I'm like, so I contacted him, and we ended up going to Twitter and being like, this is a fake account, and and it's crazy how that happens.
It's crazy. That's how they get you.
Wow.
I just realized that wasn't Nate that finally followed me.
What if it is a different?
What do you mean? Oh,
that wasn't the real Nate Bargatze.
He thought, finally. That guy's a big fan of your comedy.
What was
the Sid Finch? If people don't know that one,
all right, Sid Finch. That's a great one. So this was an April Fool's Day hoax that Sports Illustrated did. They realized the issue was coming out April 1st, 1985. So this writer wrote this article about Sid Finch, a fictional baseball player. He was raised in an English orphanage, learned yoga in Tibet, and could throw a fastball as fast as 168 miles per hour. And
real guy.
Could he really?
Yeah. Go ahead. Keep going.
And so they found this. They put Sid's picture on the cover, and it said he was a rookie baseball pitcher training with the New York Mets.
Got hurt. He would have pitched. He got hurt 1 year. Can you believe that? Yeah. It was like, what year was it?
1985.
85. When were you born? 82.
82.
He got hurt. 168 miles an hour. Could have pitched. How crazy is that?
That is crazy.
You wish you would have went to your
Yankees.
What new team are you a fan of?
Always
Yankees,
been
Reds?
a Yankee fan.
Yankees. Sid Finch would have went to the Yankees in 85. You'd have heard it. You'd have been a Hall of Famer. Got hurt. Can't throw that fast.
He wore only one shoe, a heavy hiker's boot, when pitching.
How crazy is that?
That would be. I'd sign up. I'd sign him up on my team.
Everybody signed him up. You're throwing 168 miles an hour. Who's not signing him up? You know?
Sid is kind of a shady name, though.
Well, Sid Finch is that's a baseball name. You don't think that's a baseball name?
It sounds
he got lost in the shuffle in the orphanages and then came up 168 miles an hour. Dude, you know how fast, a catcher couldn't catch it. That was the thing.
I feel like I missed part of this. So this is a hoax, though, right? He's not a real guy?
No, it's a real guy.
I feel like I zoned out for a second. I'll be honest. I'm like, I think I missed part of where it's like it's not a real guy.
Lying to you the whole episode.
Yeah.
I know he is.
The whole episode's about hoaxes.
This is my life with Nate. He will stretch out a lie and a trick for days or if not weeks with me sometimes where he's like, this is my aunt. And I'm like, well, I guess it's his aunt.
Nate's telling you the people that run that museum are all 7 feet tall. He had never heard of this 30 seconds before.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, wow. Nick always...
But that would be great if it's a giant museum with a 7-foot guy that works there.
Well,
try to get that.
No, that's why they started it. Because the guys are 7 feet. That's what made them think of it.
Aaron loves this.
I know, he's a fan. All right, anyway, Sid Finch. Who did he get drafted by?
The Mets.
The Mets.
Yeah.
Went to the Mets. You don't remember this?
Well,
he played with Lenny Dykstra. Played with him.
The Yankees wouldn't take him. I'll tell you that.
But the Mets, Lenny Dykstra played with him.
Yep. Let's see, where's it? Yeah.
Lenny Dykstra talked about him on Howard Stern. He met him once before he got hurt.
Big fan of those car washes.
They interviewed Mets pitching coach Mel Stoudemire about it. And anyway, Mets fans were very excited, overjoyed at their luck in finding such a player, and flooded Sports Illustrated with requests for more information.
Crazy. Do you think that was a hoax or not a hoax?
I mean, I would say it felt like a real story.
It is a real story. I know. Well, this is the game.
But this is a hoax element.
Do you think it was a real story, not real story? This is the game.
I think
people thought it was a hoax because it sounds so crazy.
But 168 miles an hour seems too fast.
That is fast. Well, that's
so fast.
Yeah, that's so
like
fast.
I think 100 miles an hour seems like you never hear anyone throwing 120.
Yeah.
So how do you go to 160?
Guy Buck Johnson, 115 miles an hour. Look that up. He's the fastest pitcher.
Buck Johnson. That sounds like somebody that beat Tiger Woods.
It's Joe Buck's great-great-grandfather.
Joe Buck. See, Aaron will never let me be completely tricked because he laughs at
Aaron, you need to leave the room.
Aaron is like you're
so obviously not true.
The whole episode.
168 miles an hour is insane.
It is though. You would think after being friends with Nate for like 100 years that I'd be like, he's probably lying. And I'm like, I believe him.
On an episode about
he is very trusting. I mean, an episode about hoaxing.
Yeah.
Every story, I said that Giants own Giants. You were like, oh. Oh, that makes sense. Nick pays attention, and then it's not that he doesn't, like, there's not a dumb factor in this. It's Nick pays attention, then Nick zones out. And I just know when Nick is zoned out, and then I pounce on that opportunity. So we've just been friends long enough that I just can see Nick's kind of thinking about something else.
Yeah.
So I know he's kind of not in the conversation, and then I know when to throw this thing in. And then Nick kind of starts agreeing with you, I think, before he's back in the conversation. Like, he's like, oh, wow, that's crazy. Right. Yeah. And then he's like, is it? And then it's like, I've got him. If I keep
he's in the sweet spot.
Yeah. I get like, if I just say a little things here and there and then kind of go back and I keep jumping back in and but yeah, I mean, the whole episode's about stuff that's not real. So I don't know why we would throw a real story about something. Like, that's pretty crazy to be like.
It says many people fell for the prank. The magazine printed a much smaller article in the following April 8th issue announcing Finch's retirement.
We had a guy fall for the prank as we talked about the prank. So that was that good of a prank.
I used to work for the Mets.
Do we do these other ones?
Yeah, do the balloon boy. Do you know that?
Mm-mm.
Do you remember that?
This was just a few years ago.
Seinfeld episode?
Yeah.
Bubble?
Yep, yeah. Bubble boy. What just the news thing? Just say what the news thing was.
All right. So on October 15th, so here it came up on the anniversary, 2009, a homemade helium-filled gas balloon came untethered in Fort Collins, Colorado. And the family called the police. Their 6-year-old son was trapped inside it.
Do you remember that?
No.
You don't remember that news story?
I don't remember it.
They're saying it was helium and it wasn't helium.
Authorities confirmed the balloon reached 7,000 feet during its 90-minute flight. It was up there so long, news crews had helicopters up.
I remember watching it.
Yeah. People watch it a lot.
Watch it on the news.
The event attracted worldwide attention, and the boy, his name was Falcon, was nicknamed Balloon Boy by the media. National Guard helicopters and local police pursued the balloon after flying for more than an hour.
He's still up there.
And
he's what is he?
He's
16 now.
Yeah.
16 years old.
He turned 17 in 2 days.
Just turned 17. 17 in 2 days.
Yeah.
He's driving.
He's not. He's in a balloon.
Yeah.
Above the sky. But he's 17 years old up there. Almost can vote during this, not quite yet.
I don't believe it.
Down.
Again, Aaron is the reason.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to read this because I don't know. All right. Let's see. So
this is a news story.
Yeah.
We could do the news.
I believe it.
Aaron, do you remember this?
So I remember hearing of this.
Can you see him in the balloon?
You see the balloon going up.
Yeah, but you see the balloon.
Reference.
He's in the basket.
Let me pull up some video.
It's referenced in The Office.
It is?
Yeah.
What was it?
And it's like part of the zeitgeist.
Yeah.
So I've heard of it. I don't know how this ends though. So I don't know what.
Yeah, I don't.
So the kids in the balloon.
These all sound like great movies, by the way. Every one of these.
The balloon boy is. Look, there he is. Where's he at now? He's right over Kansas.
His name is Falcon, by the way. We just kind of brushed over that.
Yeah, I know. Oh, sorry.
Balloon pay for the ad free.
Got an ad.
Oh my god.
Big production budget here on the Nateland.
I mean,
my bad.
For the free ads.
Who could forget that homemade flying saucer in
You don't remember this?
Whoa.
He's in there.
Like spellbound as a balloon raced across
so he climbed in.
Where the little boy was trapped inside.
He climbed in
For
with his
2
parents didn't know
hours,
he climbed in. He was just like, "Oh, look at this," and then it's
rooting
gone.
for the survival of 6-year-old Falcon Heaney.
How crazy
He's in there.
You can pause it now.
But how do you
Is that
know
crazy?
he was in there?
Because he climbed in, and the parents didn't know where he was at. They have 3 kids. Boys are crazy, and then they climb in and do it. Huh?
But there's never to me.
It's not a normal balloon. It's not like a
I want
hot air balloon.
I want to see him in like an egg,
that was the balloon it's a what is it?
Willy Wonka.
It's
and
like
the
a weather
Chocolate
balloon.
Factory.
Yeah.
It's a weather balloon. So that's what he climbed in.
See, I wouldn't believe that. I would need to see him.
It happened. I don't know
would
what to.
need
But there's
to
the
see
video. Well, that's the video. You can't see him because he's inside of a weather balloon. It's not a normal. It's not a hot air balloon with a basket.
Wouldn't trick me.
Huh?
I wouldn't be fooled.
You would have said he's not in there
I would have said he's not in there.
because I think you kind of believe it right now. But you would still.
Wait,
think
everyone
that
believed he was in there.
Everybody thought he was in there.
Was he in there?
Yes.
Then why would it be in the hoax?
The hoax episode. It's no, he wasn't. Everybody believed he was in there. You don't have to play any more of the video. But
when Falcon was not found,
I just ruined the fun. I'm like, then I'm going back to that other thing.
Did they get the balloon? Did they down the balloon?
The balloon landed on its own. All right, I'm going to tell you when
Okay.
it finally landed on its own, and when Falcon was not found inside, it was
Terrible.
Is the kid's name real Falcon?
That's his
like
actual
the
name
make believe kid. Yeah.
Falcon.
When Falcon was not
That's
found
real.
inside, it was reported that an object had been seen falling from the balloon, so a search was begun. Later that day, the boy was found hiding in the attic of his home, where he had apparently been the entire time. Suspicions of a hoax soon arose, particularly after an interview with Wolf Blitzer and Larry King Live that same evening. Asked why he was hiding, Falcon said to his father, "You guys said that we did this for the show." Finally, the sheriff's department announced that.
Did they have clips? Did they have video clip of that?
Wolf Blitzer?
Yeah, him saying you guys did it for the show.
Yeah, I remember when it happened. That
Bates was there as the weatherman.
Bates was working at the news then.
I was.
He would have been. He would have been the. Did y'all cover?
I
this?
love that clip.
That
you had with the old clip of you.
The weather clip.
That was me in college.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Finally,
that's a hoax. That wasn't really Bates.
The dad finally pled guilty to attempting to influence a public servant. He was sentenced to 90 days in jail in order to pay $36,000 in restitution, and his wife was sentenced to 20 days of weekend jail.
What was the balloon boy in the office? You said?
Oh, sorry.
It's when the Scranton Strangler is driving by, and they said there are three things you need to watch live: the balloon boy, Michael Jackson's funeral, I think.
Yeah,
so,
and Michael goes, "I saw him," and he takes gravel from What's the Microsoft buys the Catholic Church? I don't know that one either.
Microsoft acquisition hoax is a bogus 1994 press release suggesting that Microsoft acquired the Roman Catholic Church. It's considered to be the first internet hoax to reach a mass audience. Many of the press release's claims were unrealistic, from suggesting that Catholics would soon be able to take Holy Communion through their computer to claiming that conversion to Catholicism was an upgrade. Despite these warning signs, several readers of the fake press release contacted Microsoft to confirm the claim of the hoax.
See, I mean, that pre-2000, you would need to actually watch the news to find out if it was a fake.
Yeah.
Now you could just go and be like, it's not. It's the...
Mm-hmm.
But now more people are falling for stuff. Even the media falls for stuff. I mean, everybody's can fall for things because it's hard to check. The balloon boy thing is like, that's a story that when that happened, it's a high speed chase when you see those on TV where everybody goes and watches. And that was like a moment where everybody's watching this. Everybody thinks this kid's up there, and it's unbelievable. Why did the parents do it? Because they were just trying to be funny, or
I think they just wanted media attention.
Yeah. On what? Just but like their family?
I don't know.
Yeah. Is there a difference between a hoax and a scam? Like the Catch Me If You Can, like that. We saw that in the museum.
Yeah, he's in there.
It's unbelievable. That guy's story. Yeah. Those are all real things. Like, he was a pilot, he was a doctor, he was a lawyer. Yep, I'm a doctor. Like, it's crazy and fun.
That guy passed the law.
Yeah,
and so he took past the bar. With Leonardo DiCaprio. Mm-hmm. What's his name? Henry
Abigail. Frank Abigail.
Frank Abigail. Yeah. And then he that movie's unbelievable.
I love that movie.
Awesome. And he actually did all this stuff. This goes back to my thing. Like, he's a guy. Like I think we've talked about it before. He's a guy that's so smart that could just be wildly successful at any of these things.
Yeah.
But there's something in his mind that makes him try to cheat the system. And then he's so good at it. Now he works for the FBI. He ended up working for him because he was so good at it. That's like that girl that was the drug lord that I talked about, where she could have been anything. She could have been a runner in the Olympics. And then she's like, I want to do this. And so she's the best drug lord there's ever been. It's these people that are they're really good at anything, and they can go, and that's what he did. Frank Abigail
Jr.
Yeah, it's crazy. So that would have been, what is that? That's a hoax. That's not a hoax.
Is that a hoax?
That's a scam. That would be a scam
artist.
So that would be the different. Balloon Boy's a hoax. Yeah. It's what I guess mass people believe in. A hoax is probably a story. A hoax is something that mass people believe this thing.
Yeah.
That's a hoax. A scam is one guy scamming a system. So that would be the difference. Twitter, if you get that on Twitter, you're getting scammed.
Yeah.
Versus Manti Te'o got scammed. And
But
it wasn't really a hoax.
but
That's
what's-
probably a mix of both.
What's
'cause it was a
crazy
big
is like
story.
9/11. There was all these like fake charities and
Yeah.
things.
I've
that
got
were,
one
like,
here.
given.
I thought you were about to just be like 9/11's a hoax. I'm like, I guess we're a different podcast now. Thanks a lot, Nick. You guys wanted Nick. Now you got him.
Nickland. dude.
Nickland. Hey, everybody in Nickland.
There was a woman who claimed to be a survivor of the World Trade Center attacks, and she went by the name Tanya Head. She joined the World Trade Center Survivor Network support group, later became its president, but in 2007 it was revealed that her story was a hoax. She wasn't even in New York City on September 11th, but in reality was attending classes in her native city of Barcelona, Spain.
Yeah. Well, Steve Rannazzisi was the comedian, who's a great guy. Besides that, does that little thing that he did.
Nate, you'll like this one. Go ahead, Aaron.
No, I wasn't gonna. I don't even know why.
My bad.
Yeah, he was trying to talk too much. Talked a little too much. That guy's going to come
No,
back.
I know.
Phil's
Hill.
going to come back. Phil
Yeah.
Hill's going to come back and go, yikes, I guess I opened that barn door a little too far. He ran all out.
The Edwin Owens hoax was a historical hoax created by students at George Mason University in 2008 as a class project to see if they could create a false story that would be spread across the internet. The students created a website and a fictitious entry on Wikipedia about Edward Owens, supposedly a Virginia oyster fisherman born in 1853, who became a pirate. The hoax was
Here we
reported
go.
as true in some media outlets. This was a class project the professor led them in. Let's see if we can create fake news story and it'll work. And it
Yeah.
did.
I think you could create a fake story. I think we could talk about it on this podcast and create a fake story. Us talking about creating this fake story.
Mm-hmm.
And you could be like, hey, everybody listening, we're going to do interviews on the media about it. And we do it, we are going to be completely lying, but we're going to stick to this story. And I'm telling you that we're lying on this podcast because I think people do not do research anymore. So they do not look up any kind of facts. They would never listen to, an hour and a half podcast to figure out me going, I am lying to you. And I would we almost like, if we could ever do it, if we could ever think of something, it'd be fun to try to do.
Yeah.
Everybody just goes to jail after. You're like,
would you go to jail? If you,
what happened to Manti Te'o?
I think you're
Did that
the
guy
guy.
go
Well,
to
that's
jail?
but we're not doing that guy. Yeah, I don't know. Did he go to jail?
I don't know what that guy.
he
I
just.
don't know if he even did anything illegal. It was just
broke
kind
a
of a
guy's
mean
heart.
thing to do.
Yeah, it was mean.
Now, have you ever seen a recent example of that, of creating a fake news story, that Justin Bieber eating a burrito sideways? You ever see that picture?
No.
It's a group of guys, internet guys, and they wanted to create a fake story to go viral.
Yeah.
And they hired a Justin Bieber impersonator, and they were like, what's the weirdest thing we could have him do?
Yeah.
So they took pictures of him sitting
I want to see this.
sitting at a park eating a burrito like a corn on the cob sideways. And that picture of Justin Burrito eating a Bieber.
Eating a beaver.
Yeah. That I remember that when that picture went viral, they were like, what is wrong with Justin Bieber? Why is he eating a burrito like this? That's not him, just a random dude.
I'm wearing the same shirt as him, basically.
Trending #1 on Twitter. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a huge thing. And
Yeah.
it was just some guys lying.
Yeah.
Pretty great.
Yeah.
And they did it just to do that, just to lie.
Yeah. Just to lie and just watch people blow up. Because it's just show people's reactions, or everybody's reaction is first to, there's no questioning.
Yeah.
There's no like, hey, could this be true?
He tried to make us believe the Wade Boggs went in the Hall of Fame as a Tampa Bay Devil Ray.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is true. Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't fall for it
Yeah.
though, did we, Nate?
Was that, you just making that up?
No,
I know you
it
thought
was
that.
a thing.
Yeah.
It's a
He
hoax.
played there,
Oh, it's a
though.
hoax.
Oh, it's a hoax.
It's a hoax that I fell for.
Yeah.
You know,
That's what Aaron thought.
Was that a con or a hoax?
It was a hoax. The guy, it's an easy one. It's not as good as the burrito, Justin Bieber burrito, but it's a guy that's just like, I like to have a little fun. He's like, what's your hoax you made up? Wade Boggs went into the Hall of Fame as the Tampa Bay Devil Ray. You're like, oh, that's cool, man. Like, not,
Yeah.
I'll tell you my favorite one. There's a video. It's a video on YouTube. You can look it up. It's some guys who scammed TripAdvisor. They're in London. They created a fake restaurant with the goal of making it the #1 rated restaurant in London.
That's great.
And they did. Over the course of months and months, they posted fake pictures, they got fake reviews, and it became the #1 rated restaurant in London. It's not a real place.
Yeah.
And they were just getting flooded with calls, and they were like, we're booked, we can't. And eventually they opened up their backyard one night and created a fake restaurant and tricked all these people. They served them like ramen noodles and stuff and told them it was
that's
like
great.
Everybody bought it. They're like, this place is amazing.
Yeah.
It was all fake.
Yeah.
I love that because Yelp, I really do trust Yelp and TripAdvisor. So I would be that guy that's like, this is some of the best.
Well, when you read TripAdvisor, you always got to, it takes a special person to be writing some of these reviews. I do love someone that writes an honest review, but you can't, when you read some of these reviews, they get too personal. I would say this on stage sometimes where I was like, they get, you know, they're like, they say someone's name, you know, at the hotel. They're like, everything was nice except for Benjamin that worked at the, and you're like, well, now I don't even trust this review because you're too angry.
Yeah.
You ever talk to someone that doesn't, when you're trying to level them, like trying to tell them to calm down, they can't, if they're so angry, they're not, they can't be, there's no rational, they don't become, you know, rational. They just lose it. Yeah. So when people, if you're mad enough to go leave a review, it's either this is the greatest or this is the worst. There's never a guy that's just in the middle.
I had all right time.
Yeah. Had a great time. The food was great.
Would you like
Dollywood? I would really review. I love Dollywood.
Yeah.
I think I was super impressed because I didn't know what to expect. You know what we realized too? I was like, why did we never go there as a kid? Because we had Opryland. So we never would have went because we had a theme park here.
A country music themed park already.
So it never would have been, you never would have thought to go. Because I was like, I called my mom, I go, why did we never come here? Like it would just been an easy vacation. But it was because we had Opryland.
I loved it. I was a little surprised though that there wasn't like a million Dolly Parton things around.
But we were saying too, the live shows.
Yeah.
Dolly Parton would have probably been live shows, but they couldn't have live shows. But yeah, she talked. It's not Dolly. It's not like it's Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
Where it would be, you know, you see Mickey Mouse everywhere. That's what he wanted.
It's an unbelievable park though, and it's beautiful too. You're like going into like a national park.
And they're not telling us to say we I don't even think we got a free Dollywood trip. We did not. No Ubers out in Dollywood. We learned that.
Yeah.
No Ubers in Pigeon Forge.
Aaron and I learned that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. They did.
We took a taxi from Pigeon Forge to Knoxville.
How did that go? Yeah, what was
about
that?
an hour and 15 minutes.
Oh really?
Something like that. It was just a lady in her car, basically.
Yeah.
We sat in the back seat and she had a wet towel down in the back seat. Not soaking wet, but damp for some reason.
Who was sitting on it?
You had to sit on the towel?
Yeah, we sat on the towel.
That's
Wow.
great.
I don't know.
Aaron fell asleep immediately. So
I
just
felt so bad.
me
She
and
was
her
talking too.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll just let Brian
Just
deal with
me
that.
He just makes him the sacrificial
Oh,
lamb.
man. Angel.
You sit up front or no?
Now I sat in the back, but that didn't stop her from
Yeah.
talking to us.
She's very nice.
It's very nice.
Yeah.
Hour 15 minutes. Tough.
Yeah.
All right. Is there any more hoaxes? I don't have time for urban legends.
No,
That was
that's the main ones.
We'll do urban legends on its own separate. Hoaxes was enough. This is all hoax. We got Nick to convince back and forth. Nick thought there was a hoax a couple times. That was fun.
I couldn't handle that.
I
couldn't handle what you were
Couple
doing.
Picture?
times.
The picture kind of got me a little, just because the reading of it sounded like
168 miles an hour.
I
dude.
know. Well, it's crazy to even. How could it even remotely get you when I say read the story about the hoax? I just say read the story. I go, Brian, go ahead and read the hoax story about Sid Finch. We're reading hoaxes. Why would we throw one in there that's like a real one? And then you're like, oh wow. And then
How
the
about for urban legends? I'll throw in some real ones and
see if Nick can do it.
That would be a fun
Yeah,
game
that
to
would
play.
be
Can you
fun.
tell what's real and what's not?
yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I can get you. I think I can make one up for you. You think I could do that? I probably could make one
Time
up.
is on our side.
Yeah.
Let's...
Time. Yep. How many minutes are babies born?
I'm regretting that one. I'll be honest.
100,000. Well, then you try to backtrack it. That was the bet. Like I go, no, you said 100. You go, no. I never said that. I never. People can hear the video. People can listen to the audio.
You should run for office.
Yeah, you go, whoa. I never said 100,000. You just said 100,000. No. I said 10,000, which is still insane. Aaron threw you under the bus to then cut it down to 85,000. He thought 100 is a lunatic. What are you, a lunatic? 85,000.
That's great.
What are you, insanity, dude? Nick, get off the podcast. Nate, 85,000. Final answer. All right, everybody. Nateland, thank you so much. Thanks for leaving the comments, reviews, YouTube, review, with all this stuff. All the TripAdvisor stuff, you're helping us out. Truly, we love you guys. Thank you, as always, for listening to One Night Only Tour. Easter Seals, go support Nick's...
Disability Film Challenge, Easter Seals Disability Film Challenge.
Go support Nick doing that. We love you guys. See you next week. Bye.